Hey folks, today I'm on Candlewood Lake in Connecticut with my buddy Jody Queen. And Jody's pre-fishing for the KBF tournament up here. It's coming up in a couple days. This has been your first day, and we got 2 more days. And I know the day 2 and 3 of pre-fishing, we're going to keep track of the distance you cover.
Yeah.
So, what have you found so far in your first day?
Well, so far it's been pretty easy because I come across some nesting smallmouth in about 4 to 6 foot of water, and it seems like most of them are in 4 to 6 foot of water. So I just kind of been running the edges in 4 to 6, watching my graph and staying in between 4 and 6, and just sometimes I'll just cast it out in front of me and catch them without actually seeing them because that's where the nests are. But a lot of times I'll just pull up on them and I've been marking them, so that if I come back to this area, then I can pull up my waypoints and I'll know where they're at. If it's cloudy out or something like that and the nests are hard to see, those waypoints are nice to have. So that's the reason why I'm marking them now.
What you throwing there?
But this is probably the first time I've ever had them tear up a Mag Fatty. I mean, these things are tough, man. Look at that.
How many fish have you caught on that before that happened?
15 or 20 maybe.
Yeah.
And this is my second one.
Right.
So I've caught probably 30 fish today. So
nice.
Yeah. So it's looking good if this holds. And what I'm doing is I just got my Mag Fatty, and I put a little bit of a little drop of super glue around this shoulder right here, and then when I put my Mag Fatty up on it, then it holds. But these Mag Fatties on a shaky head will surprise you. Since they float, they stick straight up in the air like this when they hit the bottom.
Nice.
So when you're just jiggling your line just a little bit, this thing is moving. A lot of times just wind current will cause them to move, so it's like constantly moving. You get close to a nest and they can't stand it. I mean, they'll hit it. They don't want it nowhere near the nest. So it's been pretty good so far. Now whether it will hold for 2 or 3 days, I don't know. I mean, the smallmouth can move back off, but I did see something else that interested me. I caught a largemouth a while ago that was about 19 inches long, and her tail was just starting to get bloody. So I think the largemouth and the smallmouth might be going to be spawning at the same time, and if that happens, this place is going to be on fire.
Nice.
You know, it is. I mean, it's on fire right now. So you can see this fish is nesting. And what's going on right now is we got smallmouth kind of at the end of their bout of nesting, and the largemouth have moved up and started nesting. This is the 3rd one I've caught today with that tail that's bloody, and you see how these shaky heads work. Almost always they hook them in the top of the mouth. I'm gonna try to treat her as easy as I can. Get that out. Let's do a quick measure with my catch board here. I'll wet that down real good. $21.5. $21.5. That's a good northern strain largemouth right there, 21.5. Oh, the egg's coming out of her. I'm gonna get her back in the water. She'd go right back to the nest. That's the thing about catching and releasing. We're not far from her nest over there. She'll go right back to the nest and lay. Man, dude, that Mag FattyZ on a shaky head, and I'm just using a real light shaky head. deadly on nesting fish. Deadly. They can't pass it up.
So what is that, an 1/8 ounce?
It's about an 1/8 ounce. 3/16 will work too.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, that's been like this. It's been like this all day. So I'm sitting at about 96 inches right now. I don't know how it's going to play out on day one when you need it. But if it holds, if this pattern holds, I feel pretty confident that I'll catch a check at least.
All right, so selfishly, I always like learning from people who are doing well in this sport. And part of it is that I'm gonna record you rigging. I got a green pumpkin FattyZ, Mag FattyZ, and you're gonna go over the rigging.
So all I'm gonna do is, I don't want to dry that out. I'm gonna take this is about an 1/8 ounce head. It's real light, and what happens is when it hits the water.
Is there a certain brand you like, or?
No, just about any work, but I will tell you this. I like the ones with the screw locks on them.
Yeah.
Because I throw them in brush a lot, and they don't tend to hang up as much as these do.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna do it like a regular shaky head, and just about that far. Now before I pull it all the way up past this collar, I'm gonna put a little piece of
show me your glue.
This is the Loctite. I really like this kind. It's got the squeeze sides on it.
Yeah.
So that when you put your drop on there, it's not gonna go everywhere. It sucks it back in the bottle when you turn it loose. And it's okay to let it sit for just a couple seconds while you put your cap back on. It ain't gonna hurt it none. But what you wanna do is make sure you get that turned before you slide it up on there, because if it dries before you can get it up there, you can't twist it around. And once you get it up there, that's what it looks like. And I'm gonna take it, pin it back through the worm. I'm gonna bunch it up just a little bit. Now on these Mag FattyZ, the first time I pin them, I'll pin them all the way through and then back through like this. But after a couple times doing that, I just put it in the middle, because it opens up in here when you set the hook, and it pulls through and it hides the hook real well.
It rips a slot into
Yeah, it just gets a little slot in there a little bit, and so it's really easy for that hook to penetrate the fish if you don't bring it all the way through anyway. So I just
almost like a slot on the bottom of a fluke.
Exactly. So what I'll do is I'll pin them inside the worm instead of coming all the way through after I use them for a little bit.
Cool.
And that's how it works.
All right.
Good.
Cool. Can you do it again while I hit record?
Sure.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding that. All right, Jody's gonna walk me through this. I got the one that he rigged on there, and hey man, just steer me. What am I looking at?
Well, what we're going to try to go for is a rock wall that juts out into the water. So what I do is I throw it out and I let it sit and let it hit, and just shake it just a little bit. And I'll move it a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 feet at the most, and if I don't get anything, it's out of there, and then I move on to a different part of the wall. Yeah.
That's a big one. Oh, goodness. Oh, it's good to learn from the best. Wait till you see this fish. Oh, that didn't take any time at all to do this. Like under Jody's instruction, like third spot I went. Boom. Look at that. Look, man. Nice, solid tick. You can. Beautiful fish. What do you think yours weighed? What do you think yours weighed?
I think
Yeah, I think this one's 5. I would guess.
Yeah. How big is that thing?
I don't know.
It's as big as the one I caught.
No, yours is bigger. This one's 5'2".
5'2".
Yeah. We'll get a nice release shot of this one, but look at that beautiful, big-eyed monster. He went tick. Got a nice 5-pound, 2-ouncer out of Candlewood Lake. We'll go ahead and get her back in there.
I'd like to go find a big smallmouth now. Around this corner right here, just anything like that other point, it looks like it rolls off shallow. There'll be some nests on it. If they was over there, I mean, I can see the smallmouth sitting on those nests.
What you got, buddy?
Good smallmouth.
Wow.
Looks like you're right there all day long. I just don't know what can make this day any better for me. So it's a two-fisted pattern. And right there it is. Let's see how long he is. 10 3/4. Yeah. So what's been happening is the areas I've been catching fish, the grass would come and stop about 50 feet off the wall, and then there would be nothing up to the wall. And now where I'm fishing, there's grass all the way to the wall. So we need to replicate what I was in earlier. I said to get it out of the wall. Nice large. Pick that one up. So I caught that fish off the edge of that grass where it stops out there. It stops at about 9 or 10 feet. And we were cruising through here. The importance of electronics, this is a good example of it. We were cruising through here, and I had some cover on the bank, and Jeff looked at his screen and said, man, I seen 3 signatures out here, 3 or 4 signatures out there in about 10 foot of water. And I stopped and made a loop and turned back around and took that spot and pulled that fish out. So there are times when you just can't have pure electronics with you. Anymore, I'd be lost without mine. I rely on them a lot. So keep your eyes on them screens. Sometimes you'll pick up a fish like that. Now, if that was a tournament that I needed one more fish, that could have been it right there. All right. Well, today was a good day pre-fishing. we had a good day. Put in about 6 or 7 miles today. Uh-oh. Put that in the gag reel. About 6 or 7 miles today, I guess. We're gonna put in a lot more tomorrow though. So I'm gonna try to have me a backup pattern. The Mag FattyZ pattern is a good solid pattern, but you always need to have a backup pattern. So we're gonna go for a backup pattern tomorrow. See if we can't get something else figured out in case they stop hitting the Mag Fatty. I want to try to find me some more Mag Fatty. I went through about 6 today. And that's saying something because Mag Fatties don't tear up.